It's like, dude, no, I never said that. My cousin's coming, but my cousin's like, he's not an electrician. He's not going to do any of that stuff. He might help me build the bar or something. Yeah. Or if the electrician wants us to run wires, he can help me with trenches and things like that. Not freaking, like, who got Chris so rattled that he had to speak to Riaan like that? Who told him that? That's what his move. Because it's not the truth.
From exploring and seeing the vast oceans on our planet, and now I'm into probably the greatest and most strenuous journey that I've ever undertaken, partnering with my blind friend Chris and building a house. We've got a guy who's busy leading this build who can't tell a straight line from a skew line. This can't be a recipe for success, or can it?
So Riaan's taking on the role of foreman. Basically, he's going to be my eyes. I just want to get stuck in and prove that a blind man can do anything that a sighted person is able to.
I guess when we named this building Blind, we wanted to be honest about what we were going to do. But when you say it over and over, it gets scarier and scarier. We are going to be building blind. Proudly brought to you by Everite, home of Nutec, building solutions that you can trust.
This morning you were just finishing up the gate, eh?
Yeah, well, not quite finishing it. There's still quite a lot of work to do there, but I was working on it. I reckon there's about another 2 or 3 hours worth of work. For me, probably an hour for a sighted guy, but I'm insisting on doing it myself, so 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, Zane is a great guy. Zane's from Plumbing. He's done fantastic work. He comes highly recommended. I made a post on the local Hermanus page, and I said, I'm looking for a plumber that anyone can really recommend. And I did this more as a way of seeing, because generally you can tell. There were 10 posts. And beyond that, I don't even know if it went further, but I saw the first 10 posts. One was someone recommending her husband. Ignored it straight away. One was recommending himself. I ignored it straight away. The other 8 were all people recommending Zane from Plumbing, who is a certified, qualified plumber that can issue a certificate of compliance. We put the lines in, and he did them at a fraction of the price that the guy that Chris brought to the table offered. So what's wrong with that?
So you're just waiting for a quote, eh?
Well, now he's quoted me on the drainage. He did the drainage, and now I'm waiting for his quote so I can compare it to Chris's.
Die elektrician moet 'n temporary DB board daarop sit. En 'n kabel, dan las hulle daai kabel vir jou. Dan reik hy 'n certificate of compliance. Then Eskom switches the power on. So now he's got electricity to the DB.
Come show me quickly, just so I can clear. Where would the DB board, where is it designed inside the house? Where does it sit inside? Okay, cool.
Then in the meantime, the electrician will wire the house, do the DB board. From that DB, he's got a cable that comes to here.
Is that designed already where that DB board sits and where that cabling is? So it is, okay.
Yeah.
I know, sorry, naive
Then
questions.
all that happens is, Eskom comes, they turn the power off. He connects his cables. They've got like a thing with resin. They connect it, and then Eskom comes back and they turn it on, then your electricity is in.
After it's been signed off inside the house?
Yes.
Okay. Do you sign it off?
No, the electrician must issue a certificate of compliance. And so is the plumber.
Are you responsible for if that electrician has
At the end
done
of
it
the
wrongly?
day, you
Or?
need all those certificates to get an occupational certificate.
Okay.
Whoever told Chris that I was going to bring shady contractors, a buddy to do things, is the person that actually needs to be called to order, because that's not the truth. I never said that. My cousin's coming, but my cousin's like, he's not an electrician. He's not going to do any of that stuff. He might help me build the bar or something. Yeah. Or if the electrician wants us to run wires, he can help me with trenches and things like that. Not freaking... Yeah. Like, who got Chris so rattled that he had to speak to Riaan like that? Who told him that? That's what his move. Because it's not the truth.
We've been working on this boat to get her ready for the boat show for nearly 6 months now, which is shocking. But Frans has been wanting these two parts so desperately, and eventually I've got them. Francois, is that the right stuff?
Yeah, that's it, thank you.
You told me 300, so I was very chuffed. I said if I see 300,
And then she had changed.
and then she had changed. It was like flipping happy.
Did
Eh?
you ask me?
No, she was bloody happy. No, we're not buying ice creams these days, eh?
Oh.
We're on tight budgets. We're not there. No, none of that.
Yeah, no, that.
Said Maya, this boat was Sunday when I was here, was nothing like this. So it is really looking good, eh? Do you think you'll finish this today? No, is it too much? So the thing with these through-hole fittings are that Frans had to cut new ones, and who wants a boat that's got so many holes in it? So Frans had to fill the ones that were there originally. Now we've got the ones where we want them really with in strategic places, and then getting this bottom paint, the anti-foul, and this outside paint on while it's on the hard, and then we can hopefully get it in the water by the end of the week. The problem though is, and I think Francois will talk about it, is that he's under pressure to try and finish in time.
Main problem this boat had was the main bulkhead was broken, and that had to be totally cut out, cleaned out of the hull structure, and then once we fitted the new bulkhead, we replaced it, got the sizing changed so that we can get a decent heads in there. So the interior was a total rebuild. We started with a clean hull, and the entire interior was rebuilt. Hopefully we'll be back in the water in a day or two's time, and then getting the deck sorted out and windows in, and we're going to start looking at the rigging. The project's been quite intense for a long time. This boat being 30 years old takes quite a lot of work to get it to a seaworthy, fresh state again, that the family can enjoy it. Yeah, I think we're approaching the end of this project. We've got basically 2 weeks to go. It's going to be a hard couple of 2 weeks.
Hi everybody, Riaan Manser here. Come see me at Botica, the boat show in Cape Town, waterfront, 28th to the 30th of October. You'll have a chance to see our boat that we've been refurbishing for 6 months, getting this boat ready to take me, my wife and our 2 little boys around the planet. I hope you can cut from there, man. You think so? That's good. You can cut from there, eh?
Went very well. It was Dirk and Stuart. So they're a bunch of guys that used to own franchises, a big brand, and they pulled out and decided to all go on their own and form their own group, which is really cool. And the focus, the core of their business is what they call a smart cabinets, which is a cabinet that's basically made in their factory and plunked together. So you get it in a kit format, and that means it'll be really nice and easy for me to put together. And if you consider that our SIP walls behind me are often referred to as smart walls, and they're doing smart cabinets. It makes a lot of sense for us to partner with them. I'm hoping that we can do that. You've got a pole at the end of each column. You've got a timber pole, yes. and they basically tongue and groove onto that pole, and they screw onto that pole, which also then holds the weight from your trusses.
So how many poles have you got in between?
At every 1.2.
Is that all?
Every 1.2 meters there's a
not
pole.
600 or anything like that?
No, every 1.2. There's in the middle of each panel there's a aluminium or galvanized steel framework just to give it structure, and then every 250 from each edge there's the slot where your wires can just literally get fed down and you know.
And what's the fire rate now?
Perfect, 100%. It's got that what is that? ISO 2000. They came to measure, to meet me, to have a chat, to look at this monstrosity of a building, which everybody just keeps telling me looks like a castle coming out of the ocean or something. It's so big. It looks big. Once the roof is on and there's some paint on the walls and the windows and doors in, I'm sure it'll calm down a little bit. But it is big. It's a lot of cupboards, a lot of carpentry. So they spent a bit of time here, we walked through the place, then we walked through again and we measured everything up. And yeah, what nice guys, what like interesting, fun guys.
So Chris asked us if we couldn't perhaps assist him with our smart DIY cupboards. He's looking to put the cupboards in himself, so we assemble a carcass, drop the carcass off, and then Chris has got to install the carcass. He's got to level it up, hand the doors, and put the countertops on, and there you've got a kitchen or you've got a bedroom cupboard. It's been quite interesting. He's got quite a good sense of humour. He's got a nice big sized house, and yeah, I think he's quite capable of putting our cupboards together. A normal wall would be square, and then you plaster it, and the plaster passes skew, so then you've got a skew wall. Now you've got to try and level the cupboards against a skew wall, which means you've got to pack the cupboards away from the back of the wall with a SIPS panel that's 100% flat, 100% square, so that makes your installation a lot easier, where you don't have to cut a whole lot of fillers or pack your cupboards out to try and get them level, otherwise your doors twist out when you start hanging your doors on.
Yeah, you know, helps for people to know a little bit about my history. It's something that actually has happened over many years, and I have to condense it into a couple of minutes. So it's always hard to share. There are things that I'm a little bit more involved. For example, they couldn't come up with a window trim, so I've basically put my thinking hats on, made a few calls, and I ordered stuff, and we got it. So I'm like involved more than you think a blind guy should be, but not obviously entirely.
So have you got total sight loss?
100% pitch black, starless night. Life is good. You know, I've got a beautiful young wife. I've got a beautiful young child. Life is fantastic. I just can't see.